The training halls of Kepler Station thrummed with an energy you could almost taste, an electric current of rivalry, pride, and silent judgment. Alien cadets from across the stars had gathered, each one certain of their superiority. And towering above them all stood Commander Thara, a Valerian war veteran with 4 arms, golden eyes, and the predatory grace of something built to dominate. When he looked at the humans in the crowd, his voice cut like steel. Your species is soft, slow, barely worth the training. Laughter rippled among the aliens, chitters, hisses, cruel amusement. But one human, Mino, stepped forward, calm, unshaken, her jaw set. She didn't argue with words. She asked for proof. What happened next turned the jeers of 100 alien cadets into stunned silence. Because in that arena, the so-called slow human reflexes would defy every expectation. And Thara, for all his speed and strength, would learn something the galaxy had never truly understood. If you're enjoying this journey already, don't forget to hit like. It really helps more people find these stories. Subscribe if you love tales where humanity surprises the stars, and share this with a friend who needs a reminder. Being underestimated can be our greatest weapon. Now let's dive into how one duel changed everything. The training halls of Kepler Station pulsed with tension, a theater where species from across the galaxy came to measure themselves. Gleaming scales, chitin shells, feathered crests, all eyes were fixed on the towering figure at the center, Commander Thara. 8 feet of muscle and 4 arms armed with centuries of instinct, he moved like a predator in slow control of a hunt. His golden eyes swept the cadets until they landed on the human standing at the edge. His lip curled. Combat reflexes, he growled, his voice vibrating through the chamber, are what separate the living from the dead. Most of you are born for it, but some, his gaze lingered on the humans, are not. Ripples of laughter followed. Hisses, clicking mandibles. The statistics rolled from his tongue like a verdict. 200 milliseconds for a human reaction. Pathetic. A Valerian could respond in 50, a Krillian in 75. Mino stood silent, her fists clenched but her eyes steady. Beside her, Denial Rodriguez tightened his jaw. The mockery wasn't new, but this time the humiliation burned hotter. Because in that moment, Mino decided something the entire galaxy would soon regret. She would not let the insult pass unanswered. The room was still echoing with alien laughter when Mino stepped forward. Her boots tapped against the floor with a calm defiance that silenced even the loudest chitter. She folded her arms across her chest and fixed her gaze on the towering commander. With respect, Commander, she said evenly, her voice carrying across the hall. Perhaps you should see for yourself, rather than speculate. A hush rippled through the crowd. To challenge Thara, the most feared instructor on Kepler Station, was unthinkable. His 4 eyes narrowed at once. The little pink skin wants a spectacle, he sneered, spreading 2 of his massive arms toward the combat ring. Very well, let's see these legendary human reflexes. Cadets shifted eagerly, forming a circle around the arena. The smell of ozone and sweat filled the air as anticipation spiked. Mino rolled her shoulders, shook out her hands, and walked into the ring. She wasn't reckless. She was ready. Every human at the academy trained for this moment, knowing the day would come when words weren't enough. And now it had arrived. As Thara stepped in after her, his armored frame blocking the light, the duel of predator versus underdog was about to begin. Thara's voice rumbled as he announced the rules. First to 3 strikes wins. Try not to cry when this ends quickly. The crowd leaned in, breaths held. Then, he moved. 4 arms blurred in a storm of precision, weaving a net of lethal strikes. To the onlookers, it seemed over before it began. Their commander was a living weapon, his speed monstrous, his reach inescapable. But where they expected a broken human, they saw something else. Mino wasn't there. She slipped beneath his first swing, pivoted past his second, and rolled behind him before the third even landed. Her hand tapped his back, light as a feather. 1, she called, her voice calm. Gasps erupted. Thara spun, golden eyes flashing. A lucky guess, It won't happen again. He lunged with a devastating combination, feinting high and striking low with crushing force. Mino seemed to stumble, then twisted just as his momentum carried him wide. Her palm brushed his exposed side. 2. The laughter was gone. The cadets stared, jaws tight, realizing they were watching the impossible, their champion outmaneuvered by the very species he mocked. And Thara wasn't finished. His fury was only beginning. Thara's fury boiled over. Subtlety vanished. He launched forward in a storm of limbs, every strike faster, heavier, more vicious than before. The air itself seemed to crack under his assault. To the cadets it was overwhelming, a barrage no one could withstand. Surely the human had reached her limit. And then Mino did the unthinkable. She closed her eyes. Gasps rippled through the circle. Had she given up? Was she surrendering in the face of certain defeat? But Mino wasn't blind. She was listening, feeling. Each rush of displaced air told her where the next blow would land. Each subtle shift in pressure warned of the strike before it came. Her body flowed around his attacks like water through cracks in stone. Strike after strike missed. Thara's claws carved only empty space. His momentum betrayed him, sending him crashing into the mat with a thunderous impact. When Mino opened her eyes, she was standing calm and unscathed at the center of the ring. 3, she whispered, extending a hand to the stunned commander sprawled at her feet. The silence was deafening. Humanity's so-called weakness had just shattered an unshakable truth. The ring stayed silent. The great Commander Thara lay stunned, his pride wounded deeper than any flesh. Around him, alien cadets stared as if the laws of physics had just been rewritten. It was Denial Rodriguez who finally broke the silence. He stepped forward, his voice steady, carrying across the circle. "Commander," he said, "may I clarify something about human reflexes?" Thara's golden eyes flickered, but he gave a grudging nod. "You were right," Denial continued. "Our raw reaction time is slower. 200 milliseconds, yes, compared to your 50, it seems pathetic. But you've been measuring the wrong thing." He let the words hang, letting the tension build. "Humans didn't evolve to be the fastest, we evolved to be the smartest. While you were reacting, Mino was predicting. Our brains are built for pattern recognition, for reading threats before they strike. We don't just respond, we foresee." A murmur rippled through the aliens. Confusion gave way to something sharper, understanding, and more than that, Denial added, his eyes glinting, "we adapt. Every fight makes us faster, sharper, harder to read. We don't just survive battles we shouldn't win, we learn from them." The galaxy's laughter had died. Now it listened. For the first time, Thara did not sneer. Slowly, he rose to his feet, his massive frame towering once again, but his posture had changed. The arrogance was gone. His golden eyes lingered on the two humans with something no one had expected: respect. "Perhaps," he said, voice low, "the Academy's training protocols require revision." A ripple of disbelief spread through the crowd. Their commander admitting fault? It was unheard of. Yet here he was, conceding that the species mocked as soft and slow had proven itself in the purest arena of survival. Mino allowed herself the faintest smile. "We'd be glad to help, Commander. After all, we're all on the same side out there." The cadets shifted uneasily, their laughter gone, replaced by curiosity, and a little fear. They saw the humans differently now, not as fragile outsiders, but as dangerous underdogs who turned weakness into strength. Denial leaned close to Mino, voice barely above a whisper. "Think they finally understand why humanity keeps winning the wars we shouldn't? Give them time," she murmured, eyes still on Thara. "They'll learn. Being underestimated only makes us more dangerous." In the endless night of the cosmos, humanity's greatest weapon had never been speed. It was ingenuity. And that's how a single duel on Kepler Station flipped the galaxy's view of humanity. Not with brute force, but with foresight, stubbornness, and the ability to outthink anyone who dares underestimate us. If you enjoyed this story, give it a like, share it with a friend, And don't forget to subscribe for more tales of humanity's place among the stars. Because in the end, the universe has much to fear from human ingenuity.